Hopefully we can close that gap soon, but we still have a long show ahead of us and tomorrow's games as well. So that being said, how about we jump on into Resident Evil 2 Remake and meet our runners.
So starting off, let's start off with CBItemBox. If you'd like to introduce yourself and say hi.
Absolutely. Hey, so thank you, Catlink. I'm CBItemBox. I'm a Resident Evil streamer and speedrunner. I've been running RE2R for about 3 to 3.5 years now. Can't get enough of this game. I always end up going back to it. So I'm very excited to be here at GDQ and showcasing Claire A.
Awesome. And over on the other side, Deschain, if you'd like to say hello and introduce yourself as well.
Hi, everyone. I'm Deschain. I also run RE2, probably around 20, 22 categories. I don't know. I played too much of this game. But mostly I've been doing Dark Souls lately. But I'm happy to be here, happy to showcase Claire A and race one of my good homies. So.
Heck yeah. I'm very excited to see both of you go to head-to-head here. It's going to be quite an interesting matchup. And off into our commentators, 7 Ray D and Captain Ezekiel, if you'd like to take it on from here.
Hello everybody, I'm 7 Ray D. I'm one of the commentators here today for you guys. I have put way too many hours into this game during the first 2 years. I have up to 4,000 hours at the moment. So I'm here to commentate this run a little bit for you.
My goodness, I forgot how many hours you had in this game.
Way too many.
Trey's played a lot.
Our other commentator is Captain Ezekiel.
Hi everyone, I'm Captain Ezekiel. I too have ran this game, not nearly as much as Trey. I don't think anyone has, but I'm also here to commentate this category and these fine runners. So I'm excited for this.
All right, if you guys want to take it off here and count down.
Awesome.
Yeah, so the runners get to the cutscene right before we skipped the last cutscene, right?
All right.
So we can give the countdown.
All right.
All right.
On your count.
Are you both ready?
Yes, sir. Good luck, Des.
3, 2, 1, and start. And here we are in the Resident Evil 2 remake, and both the runners are starting it at the gas station.
Are you okay?
What can we talk about this run?
Wait here.
So
Check it out.
let's start with the DA stuff that have been mentioned in some of the previous runs too. This game has the dynamic difficulty system called DA, and it gets affected different ways in this run. So taking damage lowers your difficulty score, but dealing damage and picking up items increases your difficulty. So in some cases, the runners are gonna try to avoid picking up anything that is unnecessary. Obviously, in this marathon run, we're probably gonna have a little bit of safety heals, but we're also gonna maybe see some intentional damage happening, at least in the very beginning, because there's one major mechanic that only applies to Claire in this run.
Yeah, Claire is one of the few characters ever in the RE franchise to suffer from a good thing, a bad thing. I'm not sure how you'd really want to say it, but when she's in caution, she is faster significantly. So you saw the runners both there go to an unarmed zombie and take 2 short animation bites. They use that zombie because he has the fastest of the hits to really get through it. And they also dumped some ammo out of their inventory to also bring the DA down and free up some inventory space at the same time. So as you can see, they're both going to be running around in this caution state. Trust me, it's on purpose. And it makes for Claire to be a lot better in terms of dodging zombies, but it is also risky because you're now one notable hit, for the most part, sometimes 2 hits, from going right into danger.
Yeah, the armless zombie actually puts you on very high caution, so early on you can take 1 hit and still remain on caution, but if it goes any bit further out of the RPD, then 1 hit will put you into danger. So yeah, so Claire runs about, I think it's 5% faster, which doesn't sound like much, but it actually speeds up the run 3 to 4 minutes in total compared to not doing it. And we're actually about to do our little bit of a pause skip here. For some reason, when you pause your game after this first door knock, the zombie comes through faster through the door, just basically abusing the in-game time a little bit, causing the game to go faster. And when you run between the zombies, this is only doable on caution speed. It's like very tight timing. The zombies like activate a little bit too late because of this extra speed.
And that's one of the biggest benefits you'll see. There's a lot of lines the runners can take being at caution because of this. That let them squeeze by zombies in just narrow amounts of time. It's because of that 5%. So it makes a really big impact on the run.
Yeah, so far so good. Nobody has been getting any unlucky zombie behaviors. The RPD is like filled with a lot of enemies, so every bite, like this is the point where you're most likely gonna lose, I guess, decent amount of time if you do, because there's a lot of enemies in RPDs compared to any other sections. But there are also other scary spots later, obviously. But yeah, this makes RPD scary because there's a lot of enemies in here.
Yeah, definitely the biggest reset point of the run would be RPD here. A lot of runners come here. There's a lot of stuff to account for. There's RNG to account for. I guess we also really haven't talked about stair skating, actually, now that I think about it. You'll see the runners aiming as they go upstairs, kind of like a rhythm, like a rhythmic interval. It's because you can cancel the slowdown that the characters get. So when you go up and down stairs as Leon or Claire, you enter like a stair walking animation. But if you aim to interrupt it, you kind of get this little speed boost that avoids it. So very, very valuable time save to use in this run.
Yeah, we're about to get to one of the kind of scary moments. When you drop down here at the library, there's a scary zombie named Eleanor. She can sometimes be kind of a menace at this door. But it looks like Eleanor's behaving for both, so we're getting a free pass here. We're about to go to one of our first puzzles. The puzzles are RNG. So the starting location of each dial is random, but the solution is always the same. So usually you can like save seconds, few seconds here and there, depending on what RNG you get.
And in a run like this, this run is actually very optimized. RE2R has a lot of very, very clean runs on its board, so those few seconds do matter a bit there. And you'll see the runners kind of move their camera to face Claire to the right there as that crash happens. It's so that Claire gets knocked towards where they need to go instead of away. And as well as you'll now see their very first bit of menuing. So they're going in and deleting a key and moving their gun out of the way so that they can have their bolt cutters be the first item in their inventory slot. Because anytime you use your inventory in this game, it'll always use the very first slot item. And when you open it, it'll always be the first thing it's hovered over. So they do this intentionally to save time so they don't always have to move their cursor in their inventory.
Yeah, especially here we're gonna be using the bolt cutters quite a few times in a row. So it's important that the first slot be the bolt cutters. Picking some more key items up in back to the west hallway, where there's gonna be a lot more zombies. There's one particular scary yellowish zombie who's a bit random with his location. Like the enemies in this game they have kind of set spawns. But once you enter the area, they start moving a bit randomly. So their location can be a bit different depending on where they are.
Yeah, as you just saw, Deschain had to shoot the zombie, and so will CB here. When he's in the hallway like that, you kind of have to, which is not the worst thing. Sometimes he's right around the corner camping, and you kind of run into him and you get owned right away. So not too bad to go down there and have to just shoot him one time.
Yeah, so again, early game, you can see either running by the zombies or sometimes shooting headshots. Headshots are guaranteed stagger early game, but later on, when the DA score goes up, their difficulty is gonna go up, and it's not gonna be a guaranteed headshot anymore after that. But that's gonna be a bit later on still. So during the early parts, we're still just guaranteed headshots, staggering enemies. We're heading near the Stars office where you can see our first licker. It's funny enough, if you keep your camera on the licker, they behave slower. So you can see both of the runners looking at the licker while they're running. in the hallway, because that makes the liquor usually behave nicely. But in both cases, Deschain got slashed by the liquor. CBItemBox got only licked, which is less damage, but yeah, both took a little bit damage. Still in caution.
Yep, and that liquor right there can be very brutal. Because while you can put your camera on them to influence their behavior, it's still ultimately a bit random. Sometimes they can jump to places you don't want them to be, but it's good that they both got through there without getting hit too hard or getting put into critical. And that's the big ticket, is not getting put into critical.
Yeah, the only scary part now is now they're both one hit away from danger, and I think both runners are probably gonna be soon getting some safety heals to hold on to, but yeah, here on out, hope to not get hit too much. And we're doing our last million puzzles, and this allows us halfway to the first boss fight.
And you saw the runners face their camera up. This is kind of a similar thing to what we just talked about with cameras, facing camera up allowed the liquor to miss when they ran by. This ladder is kind of scary as both runners come down. As you can see, the zombies kind of camp it. But thanks to iframes of the ladder animation, we're able to get down. You can get unlucky sometimes, and the zombies will delay and not be close enough, and they'll get you coming right off the ladder. So pretty good for both runners not to get touched by anything there, which RPD1 not too shabby now as we move on to our first boss fight.
Yeah, so these runners are currently running a category that is 120 FPS. There's a reason why there's few categories divided by FPS, because there's a lot of things that are affected in this game by the frame rate of the game. And 120 FPS, you're gonna see our main weapon is actually gonna be the knife, which is like a lightsaber almost. It's gonna absolutely destroy these bosses. Ideally you get like 14, 15 hits here, so let's see how Deschain does here. Clean kill by Deschain.
Nice.
CBItemBox.
This way.
And there we go.
Yeah, nice shot. So that's those fights go so fast with the knife, which is why we had to impose the 120 FPS cap in this game. Because when you uncap and you're at like 300 or something, one knife breaks instantly because you slash right through the enemy and it registers a hit like a whole bunch of times, and it's really, really strong. So that's why that cap exists. But really nice fight by both runners. That was super nice.
My mom's always at work.
Yeah, clean fights by both. I'm assuming both runners are going to be picking up. There's an item back here, which increases your inventory space just for safety. I think in general in runs you would not pick this up, but this allows you to hold on to heal item constantly, which is good for safety. And we're
inventory space.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was saying inventory space definitely becomes an issue later in the game, where having that extra hit pouch definitely matters.
Yeah, so we're officially done with the first part of RPD, and we're entering, I guess, the RPD 2 part, and we're at the scary part of the kennel liquors. There's both liquors here, and the runners are gonna try to manipulate these liquors by just, I guess, more so the specific lines, but also kind of looking away at the first part. We gotta get a key out of the morgue here, and then get back past all the liquors as well. The getting back is a bit scarier part.
See how Des does here. He did a shot to manipulate the liquor's behavior. He's getting around them the first time pretty nice. Like, he hopes one doesn't jump on him here. And nice.
Yeah, CBItemBox doing the exact same thing. And the CBItemBox, if you look at him, he's gonna do like in this thing where he's walking backwards and aiming. This actually forces the liquor to jump in front of Claire, which actually lets you pass the liquors, the last liquor that is on the ceiling, waiting to pounce on you.
Very nice by both runners getting through there clean. That area is really, that's where a lot of runs go to die too, is those lickers right there. So it's actually handled really well.
Yeah, so basically whenever you see lickers, that's all the camera angles are more likely like done on purpose, because the lickers are really like the camera angles matter a lot, and the way you move and all that, but obviously they're still ultimately a little bit random, so yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty good on that end. Now we're moving more towards getting a couple pieces like for the heart key and getting a couple clock tower pieces to essentially move on towards the Sherry section of the game not too long from now. So there's a lot of cleanup being happening here, which is grabbing keys, going through doors. Now we're back into RPD a second time, which can get a little confusing if you're new to the run, but obviously these runners have been running the game for a long time. So we're going through some areas we've been to before and going out here to meet a special friend, right? A fella that's going to hang out with us a little bit.
So both the runners are getting one of the main key items here, which is the electric part that's in the orange box. It's required. You need 2 of them to get to the Sherry part. Both you dealt with the zombie very nicely in this room, actually. Can be an annoying one sometimes, but yeah, we're closing in on the special someone here.
Both runners very close right now, actually. They're like neck and neck. Like
really back to back here. It's actually...
And even in-game time, you can see there at the top left is like identical for both runners right now. This is actually like crazy close.
Both are doing, at the same exact ammo count to the weapons, and yeah, this is to remake it. To some extent, it's very consistent run, but yeah, obviously there's like things that can happen wrong. And we're gonna be doing a aim manipulation, Mr. X. It forces the Mr. X to do this like lunging punch attack. But if he like after he starts the animation and we start running forwards, the hitbox happens very late, and we can just run past him. And you might see this happen. Well, actually, you might not see that happen anymore at all, because depending on how the luck goes here, both the runners are actually taking a safety shot here, which is kind of manipulates Mr. X's position a little bit, coming out of here a bit later.
Yeah, there's a bit of... Oh, go ahead.
Go ahead. Just saying, there's one licker here in the hallway. Both managed to clear it nicely. Have to do a little bit of manipulation here, and now they have to get back. And the shot is supposed to manipulate Mr. X in a way where he won't be blocking the doorway coming back to the main hall. But let's see. Mr. X is behaving nicely for both.
Nice, yeah. It's like we're working. It feels like I'm looking at the exact same run, just with a different costume, right? Like they're actually doing everything exactly at the same frame.
Yeah, this is actually insane.
This is actually just same frame. Like these cutscenes are synced. Like I don't know.
IGD is exactly the same here. That is actually.
That is so crazy. Oh my god! Like it. That's tripping me out a little bit.
Yeah, that's actually. Oh man.
To explain something, if you're looking at the top left, you're probably wondering, if you're not used to it, why you're seeing these health bars and the in-game time and the items on the screen. This is a tool that we as runners use sometimes. Or I guess maybe you might not be able to see, but there's something. Oh no, that is a very unlucky bite from that zombie there. But that's why Deschain has the safety heal. But runners are using something called the speedrunning tool. You might not be able to see it on the overlay, but it essentially tells them things like their DA and their health and stuff, because otherwise you won't be able to track that kind of stuff, which is why it's super important to use for games like this. But yeah, that bite there, really unfortunate for that zombie that camps that door.
Yeah, Deschain was trying to do a manipulation where he like aggroes the zombie but runs into the doorway. That guarantees that zombie won't be in the way coming out of the room. But unfortunately, the zombie just barely managed to grab before Deschain got in the doorway. CBItemBox is actually just gonna hope the zombie is not there. He is there, but he's trying to do the headshot and nice. CBItemBox gets out nicely.
Yeah,
most
that line
runners
to
are-
take to guarantee that zombie's not there is kind of a trade-off if you don't get it, versus if you do. If you don't get it, like CB did there, you do have to deal with him coming out of the door.
Yeah, but bites are like again. There's not like movement. Movement matters, but it's very minimal. Like time save in a way, but the bites are like each bite is 5 seconds. As you can see, the timers are just getting one bite is like put CBItemBox around 5 seconds ahead. And here both are actually doing a first electric box puzzle. This one is actually one of the fastest one the whole game out of all the scenarios. And yeah, we're about to enter the Sherry section.
Big chunk of RNG here at the very start of this Sherry section with her puzzle. You can sometimes get a really fast puzzle with the blocks here because its starting position, the blocks' starting positions could be very close to the solution, and sometimes it's not. So it's kind of a gamble on it.
Yeah, so you always, in this puzzle, you always have to move the first block to the third spot, and then you have to rotate things. But this is one of the only puzzles where it actually can be instantly solved. If you just move the first block to the third spot, it actually can be solved. In my 4,000 hours, I have seen that once in my own playthrough, like own speedruns. So yeah, it's rare, but it can happen.
Yeah, it's very interesting when it happens because it's a gold you will never beat again, and you're better off deleting that gold because it's just gonna bother you every time you see it.
Yeah. Yeah, Sherry's movement is kind of floaty, and he likes to get stuck everywhere, and yeah, it's a bit odd. So a lot of the runners usually tend to hate the Sherry movement part. Actually, all the runners are gonna do this little wiggle on stairs. Just actually make sure we run tiny bit faster on stairs. But this is considered a little bit of an auto-scroller part of the run. Because you're gonna have to wait a lot in this part. Try to grab the keys to get away, but if Iron sees us, and now we just gotta hide for a little while.
This whole section in the speedrun seems like it might be kind of close. I mean, if you're new to it, but it's really easy to get away from him for the most part. The only time you sometimes get caught by irons is if you mess up going too early, because you're kind of on a timer here. You're waiting for irons to walk around the room, and you're kind of just crouching around, hiding from him until you go and progress the cutscene, and then you get out and end the Sherry section. So it's a lot of sitting here, crouching, waiting, kind of moving based on his dialogue, but is this very consistent? None of it's really random. So you're basically just waiting for the same cues you would anytime you come through here.
It's all over now.
I almost thought Deschain was gonna do a little bit of a show off and stand this whole section. You can actually do this whole section standing if you know the positions to stand on. But yeah, both are just playing it safe and crouching around and avoiding Chief Irons here. You're gonna see one hilarious spot soon. This is actually one of my findings very early on, because I spent too many hours here just to try to figure out stupid stuff, and you're gonna see soon a funny position. They're a little bit more crouching behind.
Bitches gotta be here somewhere.
Language.
Yeah, let's relax, Chief Irons.
Yeah, sometimes just standing in plain sight is the best hiding spot.
Yeah, Chief Irons is a little he's a little unaware of his surroundings here.
Yeah, if you look at this chain, CBItemBox is still playing it a bit safe, but crouching, but you can actually just stand here if you're near this like round green block here.
Please,
And they're both readying up their lineup because Chief Iron's gonna stumble past
Show yourself
Sherry soon here.
now.
Neither of them is actually showing up. It's kind of funny just seeing Chief Iron stumble past here. But
It burns.
and both have the key, and now they have to try to escape. Really,
Where the fuck is my key?
Yeah,
it's
no,
actually
this.
funny.
I see you.
Go ahead.
Go ahead. As to say, this whole section here, after grabbing the key, is a lot of just holding W and closing the door and locking it behind you as you just progress to the end of this. It's really unlikely for Chief Irons to catch you here, because it's all very scripted. He can. It's not impossible, especially coming out of like this little cutscene here. The camera is a little weird, but otherwise it's just run to the end of the level.
Over here, you little bitch.
Yeah. There's actually a funny bug that can happen sometimes where the key duplicates when you pick it up. I really don't know why it happens, but it can just happen sometimes. Like the game just double picks up the key and you have 2 keys in your inventory. Yeah, with that, we're back to Claire, and now Claire is trying to get to where Sherry was. And we're about to leave RPD for the first time.
Yeah, now we're coming up on dogs. Personally, one of my least favorite interactions of the game are the dogs in it, especially as Claire, as you're close to being put into crit at this point. Like, getting hit from the dogs is not going to do you any favors, that's for sure. So it's going to be interesting to see the runners handle it, but Mr. X spawns here too while we're opening up the door. You can basically just bait a hit from him and dodge out of it. Ooh, CB took a hit.
I think CB is taking a hit on purpose to manipulate the DA here, the difficulty. But
Oh, okay.
I think he might have forgotten that he already was hit. So I think usually you do that if you have not been hit before. But yeah. With that, both of the runners are of RPD, try to shoot the zombie to get past here. And indeed, the dogs are coming up.
Looks like the only way
As we RE2R runners started saying, dogs are free, right? They are very free. There's actually, for the most part, the dog section is pretty nice. There's only one very scary dog that comes after the boss. And let's see. Again, once a blue moon, these dogs can do something out of nowhere where, like, you just never see it again. But for the most part, let's see what happens here for both.
Yeah, there are some lines here that the runners will take that will allow them to avoid the dogs. There's one dog up here before the bus that the runners will take a different line based on the dog's behavior. And it varies, like if they lunge attack, determines whether or not they should quick turn this corner. So as you see, that Des didn't because the dog lunged. They're going to shoot this zombie and grab that grenade. And now this dog is the tricky one. Oh, that's
scary. Yeah. That one that hit Deschain
Hang on, Sherry.
is the actual scary one. And now, not only did Deschain first get hit by the dog, he got grabbed by the zombie. He had to use the defensive item, otherwise he would have died. And Deschain lost a knife. Knives are worth everything in this run if you want to go fast. So that is definitely gonna hamper the future or like the later parts of the run, because this run has a very calculated amount of knives we want to use. So ideally you would not use any knives. So defensively, actually, well, you would not use anything defensively ideally, but Deschain just had to because he was too low on health.
I'll be right there.
So definitely this puts CB in slight lead here, just having all his tools for the whole run now.
Yeah, definitely super unlucky to that dog to hit Deschain before he even got out of the bus, and to knock him right into the other zombie too. Super unlucky.
Yeah, I wonder what this change can do because of the lack of knife. And the option is there to pick up the weapon from the sewers, the spark gun, which used to be the weapon of choice for a long time in these speedruns, but eventually the runs just a lot of the runs started using knife only because it's just that strong. But obviously CB being, I mean Deschain being low one knife, can mean that he might go for the actual spark shot.
There's and as you can tell, like there's still less than a 10-second difference between the runners right now. It's still really close even after that. Like this is going to be very close, I think, of this race. So these decisions, the spark gun, grabbing an extra backup knife if one's even available, and how they play the remainder of the run is going to be super crucial to determining who pulls ahead and who actually wins, because there's still a lot of the game to be played. Now that we're in sewers, it's not going to get any easier, right? Because now we have G adults to deal with, and they are an experience.
Yeah. While there isn't as many enemies in the sewers, the G adults themselves, like if they hit you or grab you, you're automatically losing like 10 plus seconds. You're most likely gonna be poisoned or critical health. So it's never a good thing if you get hit by any of them. But yeah, this chain is actually CBItemBox is going down the stairs shooting one of the zombies. Luckily none of the other zombies managed to grab him there, because there's another zombie on the left that can grab you. Deschain did it cleanly too.
Yeah, both runners grabbing the safety herb there. Very smart to do that, especially in a marathon or a race sense, so that you don't accidentally get put into critical.
Yeah, Deschain actually shooting one of the zombies' leg off there, because you have to go back through that same section again, so crippling one of the zombies can guarantee a bit easier pass on the way back. But in the sewers here, basically, your main goal is to get these chess block pieces, which are used to power up this door. Don't ask me why, but that's how this one door works here. A visual puzzle, casually. And yeah, both got the first chess piece here. I see the CBItemBox is now heading back. Let's see how he deals with the zombies on the way back. Just one zombie here. Very nice. And obviously Deschain too probably has only one zombie here. Yeah. Both runners are doing just fine here.
Yeah, Deschain not opting to shoot the zombie as it was turned a little bit more away than CB's was, so he's able to just round the back of him to get up without having to risk getting bit.
Yeah, now both are entering the scary part, the Urgan Trail, or whatever you want to call it. This part is filled with G adults, and
Jesus, they're everywhere.
the slightest mistake or bad luck in some cases can cause you to get grabbed here. So CBItemBox shooting the adult out of the water, and then just running and hoping the other one doesn't grab. Well done. Deschain doing the same thing, shooting the GL out of the water and running. Let's see if he can get past the other adult. Yeah, both have passed
nice.
the scary first pass of the G adults, eh? There's also the way back.
Still on the way back, it's just as scary, as then you have to account for some more RNG on the position of the G adults. I believe it's random, and you have to react based on it. So we'll see how the runners handle that after they're finished getting the plugs they need through this room.
Yeah, both are in this like mini puzzle room where you have to get these chess pieces out. It's like a interesting like moment section in general, but I'm actually curious to see if Deschain goes for the spark shot. No, he doesn't. Okay, so I think he's opting to either get the backup knife from the labs, I think, or we'll see what he exactly does here, but
I believe there's a backup knife in the server room in the labs.
yeah.
That's the only one that I can think of. But yeah, being down a knife, you really have to plan around that. It's a very big part of the run.
Yeah, okay, CBItemBox is heading back through the GL trail. Let's see how he passes the first GL. He baits the grab. there's a chance they do an attack which gives you a free pass. And Deschain is actually getting lucky. There's no G adult on the way, so that's very nice.
Deschain had that attack that Trey was talking about, where that first G adult just try to basically spawn other G adults, and you're able to pass for free when that happens.
Both runner. There's a last G adult spawning at the end here, and he can just climb up and climb back down once he's done his attempt at the attack.
Due to the good RNG, Deschain was able to close like a 1 or 2 second gap there because he did not have to juke any shots or hits rather from the G adult. So those kind of things definitely help.
Yeah. So now both players have the 3 chess pieces they need, and now they're heading for the puzzle section where they have to put these chess pieces in the correct order to get to the second boss fight of the game. And this can go wrong if the boss decides to troll a little bit, but we'll see.
Yeah, G2, definitely an interesting fight that is hard in theory, and it can be if the boss does troll, like Trey was saying, but if a mistake is made in this fight, it's pretty substantial because the fight goes off the rails really fast and it almost forces a retry. It basically does if you're not able to kill him within the allotted amount of time, basically while you're waiting for him to die.
You're gonna see CBItemBox throw a grenade here because he triggers the boss fight, and actually the boss is actually basically in the ceiling, and when the claw attack comes down when you're trying to exit this room. So when you throw the grenade, it actually damages the boss that is basically above the ceiling, instantly triggering him to come through the door so they can quickly get on to the next phase of the fight, which is on the main platform. The only way you can kill G2 is by hitting him with the crane, but you can one-cycle him with the crane if you get him under 50% health. So that's what you're gonna see. They're gonna press the button, put the crane to go away, and then gonna knife the boss into under 50% health, and then gonna try to get the boss hit by the crane afterwards. So both are just knifing. They're using the lightsabers in their hands to do as much damage as they can. And hopefully both can bait the boss into the crane hit. CBItemBox nicely baited the boss, the crane, and Deschain following suit. And both are past G2 with 1 cycle. Excellent.
Yeah, really well done.
This is taking forever.
From both runners there.
So you might wonder, you might have seen runners actually changing graphic settings there a little bit. They're just trying to make sure they hold 120 FPS to guarantee the knife to basically the knife does register some more hits per swing the higher your frame rate is. It doesn't do like more damage, but you do more hits per swing. So they're just trying to make sure they lower the graphics for the boss fight specifically to guarantee the maximum damage.
You're gonna be fine.
And with that, we are done with the sewers and heading off to the last part of the run, Nest.
We love Nest. We love labs in this game.
Exactly.
Good.
So both of the runners are on DA rank 6 at the moment. 7, basically this is kind of the middle point in the difficulty where you are not guaranteed to headshot stagger anymore. It's very likely still to headshot stagger, but it's not a guarantee anymore. If they go to DA rank 7, that's when the game basically turns into hardcore difficulty, where the zombies gain double lunging, they're faster, and all the enemies are basically behave faster and obviously do more damage as well.
It's okay.
So ideally you want to try to keep your difficulty at DA rank 6 here, because 7 is kind of the scary point, because there's one very scary part in the labs here. But yeah.
Yeah, I've heard a lot of runners basically nickname it Diamond Minecraft helmets is what the zombies get. in this area of the game, and once your DA is high enough, is you shoot them once in the head and they don't care. They'll just ignore it, and it'll catch you off guard too, because you can just get lunge grabbed so easily.
Yeah. So and here both are trying to save Sherry and the cure for Sherry. To get started, they both have to. Actually, if you look at this chain, he's gonna be doing a shot manip here on the door. He's gonna be shooting at this door. Actually, he's doing it differently. CBItemBox did a shot manipulation, shooting a door. Deschain did not opt to do this. But this is kind of manipulate one zombie here behind this door that CBItemBox is going through here. They're both opting like a bit differently, but both kind of can work the same way. Deschain is just doing his shot a bit later. CBItemBox passing the zombie just nicely. And Deschain is having to shoot the zombie right here.
Yeah, that zombie can sometimes tank a shot, and he can be kind of scary as he camps that door. So it's good that both runners were able to get through without really getting grabbed or bit there.
Yeah.
Knives are very important, especially coming up to this part of the game. It's super, super important to have knives ready and available. Just like we said earlier, Deschain is short a knife, so they will have to pick up an extra one in order to do G3 appropriately.
Actually, no, I'm actually kind of... Wait, do they need to pick up extra knife? Maybe they do.
I guess it varies on how they do G4, right?
Yeah, I guess it depends, yeah. I guess you can do it a bit differently to not need the knife. It's been a bit since I ran this properly. I'm not 100% sure the exact requirements, but we'll see. Anyway, this lab is divided into 3 different wings. The wing that we entered from, and this is the second wing. The labs, I guess. And there's a scary segment that we call lab liquors. This segment has been kind of... This is one of the segments that has changed the most in this whole run. Because it's just gone through so many different variations, but by now it has like a pretty good way of doing the section, but we'll see exactly how it goes, because it can be messy if things go wrong at all. Also in this section we're introduced to these IV enemies. Basically like humanoid plant enemies. If they grab you, you have to use a defensive item or they're one-hit kill, regardless of difficulty. And obviously, we don't want to use any of the defensive items here because we need every single one of them. You can see like CBItemBox, there's like these orange pustules coming out of the plants. If you shoot them, it will stagger them for a little while, allowing you to pass them. So it's just important to hit your shots.
That Ivy did such a weird turn there when Deschain shot it. He just kind of 90-degree turned right into the wall. That was so strange.
Yeah. And yeah, this room on the first way is fine. It will trigger, if you look, Deschain is triggering that liquors come from the ceiling, but on the way back they can be problematic. We have 2 flashes to kind of guarantee to try to make that segment work out, but we'll see. CBItemBox is going down the stairs now, heading back for the lab liquor section. And you're probably gonna see this CBItemBox shoot the floor and look at the ceiling, trigger the liquors to jump on the ceiling, and then throw a flashbang. And when they're on the ceiling, and if you flash them, they will go into a very long animation of like being stunned. And then Deschain following suit, doing the same thing. CBItemBox manages to run past the liquors just fine. Luckily, both are still on DA score 6, where the lickers are not hardcore speed. Because if they're on the rank 7, this section can be
Damn.
very, very problematic.
But the way back through, like they're not out of the woods yet. They do have to go back through that area again, and it's again with the assistance of a flash, but it's a bit harder as there's a bit more distance to close to get out safely.
Yeah, CBItemBox is now heading out. This is like the last pass through the lab lickers. One flashbang. This can be sometimes. There can be the zombies in a bit weird spot, but the lickers can maybe hit you on the exit door, but very clean pass by CB. And Deschain coming up with his flash, and let's see if the lickers behave or do they turbo. Oh no, Deschain was going for the safety knife or the extra knife in the side room. He got it, but now he has a problem. He lost another knife to this zombie. And yeah, Deschain, oh no, he's getting hit by the lab lickers at the exit. Oh,
that was close.
So Deschain managed to change almost full durability knife to a full durability knife there basically, but
oh no,
this is just going more wrong. Unfortunately, Deschain did not hit the Pustule, and yeah, this is now down a second knife. It's gonna be bad because he did not pick up the spark shot either, so he's actually gonna go back and pick up this broken knife he used on the Ivy, but while CBItemBox just cleanly passing through the whole section.
There's still a lot to go through, though. I wouldn't say it's anyone's game quite yet, because you still have G4, G3 and G4 to deal with, and those are very polarizing fights. They both have like a big margin of error, where if you make a mistake, rather it's incredibly punishing.
Yeah. Deschain just taking a little bit of risk there and running past the IVs. Usually that positioning of the IV meant it was going to be a free pass, but yeah. CBItemBox is nearing up the G3 boss fight. And Deschain coming up a little bit behind here with less knives, which could hurt him depending on how cleanly CBItemBox's boss fight goes. CBItemBox needs to interact with this thing and run back, and it's gonna trigger the boss fight. And let's see how the fight goes for CB. He's again turning down his graphics just to guarantee the frame rate being high.
For G3, it's super important that CB pops these eyes fast enough and gets good knife swaps while killing the boss.
Yeah, very clean fight so far by CBItemBox. Actually, there's a little bit of trick you can do by swapping your weapons in the menu, so you don't get the knife swap animation when you swap to a new knife. There's a little bit of time, and this allows you to get even more damage in. But yeah, this is looking a very clean kill by CBItemBox here. Or is it? Oh no! Almost super clean. He was like 1 health left. During this animation, the G3 boss fight actually cannot die. So you have to wait for him to slam the wall down and then finish him. And yeah, Deschain is starting his fight too, but he has a bit less knives here. I'm not actually sure if the knife is gonna be enough to kill this boss or not.
It'll be close.
Maybe, because his difficulty should be pretty low when he started this, but we'll have to see. It might just... Yeah.
Oh, so close.
I think he's gonna have the issue of him... Yeah, the boss is gonna grab the wall. And yeah. The same kind of kill regardless of having less knife. But now Deschain is not gonna have the knife for the last boss fight, which is doable. But I don't know if Deschain is actually practiced the G4 boss fight without a knife.
Sherry.
But yeah, CBItemBox definitely in a little bit of a lead here.
We have to go.
There's a last little bit of a elevator ride all the way down, and a self-destruction timer starting.
Let's get the hell out of here.
Yeah,
But that's
this
not
the
gonna-
classic
Yeah.
RE game stuff.
Every RE game needs that some sort of a self-destruction laboratory or something like that.
Exactly.
Also, very commonly a helicopter ride to sunset or something like that, but not in this game though.
Claire? Yeah?
There is the extra knife that you get just before G4
Oh,
at the bottom of the elevator. Yeah.
Really glad I met you too,
right.
Sherry.
You are correct. I've
Save your
been
thanks until I get you
kind
out
of
of this
forgot about
place.
that. So wait, both are just fine.
Yeah,
Actually
they're both
fine.
gonna have exactly what they need to do the last fight. Now the G4 boss fight isn't really a boss fight that is determined based on health. Since you can't really budge G4's health, it moves a little bit, but it can't really die that way. It's about the amount of eyes that you pop for the last fight, as you'll see coming up in a bit. Is G4 is essentially like G3 and G2 has a bunch of eyes, but there's like a whole bunch of them that you can break, and they respawn at a certain rate. So the runners try to kill them as optimally as possible using the knife and the minigun to really one cycle the boss really before it jumps and climbs up too far, and the fight ends up taking significantly longer as a result.
Yeah, there's like an optimal way of doing the last boss fight where you kind of like cycle the eye spawns in a certain way. A little bit of section here, where CBItemBox is a bit ahead. Gonna have to interact with this door and wait for Sherry to open the door.
Stupid thing's locked.
It's gonna be
Hold on.
Ivy spawning here.
What are you?
So
Open it from the other
what's gonna happen here is the game automatically equips the most like broken knife whenever your knife breaks.
Damn it, your tongue
So he's gonna be breaking all his like almost broken knives away. And this one Ivy will equip his full durability knife without losing any time, basically doing any many manipulations, basically like swapping the healthy knife in the menu. So this is on purpose, he's just waiting, using the knives here. And now he should be equipped with the full durability knife, not having lost any time doing menuing.
Oh, got a little stuck behind the door there, but
Yeah. And there's one more zombie for CBItemBox. This zombie is low health and should always die to one hit. And yeah, Deschain is at the IVs, but Deschain only has one knife he can use here. Or like he needs to get rid of only one knife, so I think he's opting to... Well, he was opting to try to shoot all the orange pustules out, but... Oh, this actually looks a bit scary too.
come on, Sherry.
Harry, open the door!
There we go.
Well done, Deschain. And yeah, CBItemBox is now basically picks up the... He is picking up the minigun and starting the last boss fight, so let's see how this goes. So again, this boss fight is all about breaking the eyes. I think on standard difficulty you need to pop like 45 eyes for this boss to start this like dying animation. Yeah, start minigunning, do a knife swing, some more minigunning, a knife swing, and throwing a grenade to knock him off the wall while breaking a lot of eyes. And just doing some more knifing, breaking as many eyes as you can. And let's see if you can get the last kill here. No, not. You could basically kill the boss last swing, but he should be dying right here.
Should be
Yeah, he must
pretty
have missed-
close.
Yeah, okay, there we go.
There we
That was
go.
the boss is now about to be dying, and now you can just minigun a bit more life to speed up the kill. And Deschain is starting his last fight too. Minigun in the knife swing. Pretty much exactly mirroring the fight using the grenade. The nice swings. Very nice. Also GG time for CBItemBox.
Yep, that was time for CV. And
And yeah,
nice fight by
Deschain.
Deschain as well.
This chain is just finishing up at this G4 fight. And time.
Time.
GG.
Good job to both runners.
Well
that was
done,
a great
runners.
run.
Was that
GG
exact
all
My
around.
time?
goodness, that
It's really
was
good for
just
how
so
bad that run
close
was.
the
Holy cow.
entire way to the end. My
That
God.
was like that was insane watching the run like being mirroring exactly
I
each
know.
other.
Oh
you know,
my
was it?
goodness.
By the way, we have
Oh,
our
that was so
runners,
close.
back on the mic here.
Wow.
Welcome back to you two. Yeah, obviously you two weren't able to watch each other, but like I know like during the Sherry section and probably like until decently into the sewers, it was literally like watching the same run twice.
Wow.
That's so close. And
Yeah,
then
both you
my,
guys were
just
my
neck and
labs
neck.
was horrible. Oh my god.
Oh my
so
dude,
much.
dude! I
Oh.
messed up G3. I was like one swipe off from before killing him on the wall.
I had to slash him and then shoot him 3 times. Somehow 51-25 for how bad, like how much stuff went wrong though is actually like super fast. Like that's insanely. Like,
Yeah,
And they
that's
were
like
good
so
runs.
fast.
yeah, dude. Those were and with safety strats and stuff too. These
Yeah.
are pretty solid runs,
Oh, I
dude.
picked up like 5 herbs or something. Holy cow.
Yeah, that was absolutely amazing on both ends, honestly.
Well, really
Thank
quick to get
you.
some more runner insight here. Let's start on Team Stars. Deschain33, how did you feel about
Hi.
your run?
I'm happy because it's only like a minute and 20 or so off. Actually, it's actually a minute and 20 exactly off PB, which is my goal was to get under 2 minutes off PB to give like a good showcase. And I'm surprised at how fast it was considering how much stuff like went wrong. Like I could not have predicted that zombie being behind that corner in labs. Like it's a rare RNG, but there's like no way to predict that she's gonna be there, and it just happens sometimes. And I needed to go that way because I was down a knife because of what happened at Bus Dog. So like, you know, it's cool to showcase these runs because you have to like see runners reroute on the fly because something went wrong. Because 120 is a bit different because you need your knives. But like, I'm very happy with this run. It's pretty fast for how much like bad RNG I had.
Absolutely. As well, if anyone wanted to find you, can they find you on like Twitch or anything?
So you can find me at twitch.tv/Deschain33. Occasionally we'll do RE, but currently we've been grinding Dark Souls, all bosses, in Prepare to Die edition with the world record level route. So it's been
Heck
pretty fun.
yeah.
All right.
Let's go, dude. That's awesome.
As well, hopping over to Team Umbrella, CBItemBox, you did win this round of the race, scoring Team Umbrella another point here.
Awesome.
How do you feel about your run?
I think that was a good run. I've been practicing like for days and derusting, and it's tough because I'm very much of the school of Claire B scenario. So it's really hard to differentiate, even in labs going to do the keypad codes. I almost did 2048 for like B scenario codes. So it's hard to kind of keep up with it, but I think I did really good. A few spots I got really good RNG in like library. I got great sewer RNG. I almost got grabbed by a G adult, but for all intents and purposes, it was practically free. Labs was a little good, little sketchy at some parts. I almost thought I was gonna get grabbed and die at the end with the IVs because I changed my strat up there for the last 2 before Sherry opens the door. Because we have the extra knife, usually we get rid of one of those knives. So I was kind of, again, going with some B stuff of trying to get it, but it worked out. I honestly thought I was going to lose that race with G3 because of the wall incident. My DA was a little high going into it, and that's because I took a lick in the beginning, which isn't a lot of a DA loss, and then I took a misdirect hit, so I wasn't sure if I should take another hit. I probably should have, and I would have saved that time, but G4 trolled me a little bit. I have been trying to get Super Knife kill, and I messed that up. But I recovered it, so he hit the wall, and I was able to take it. But all in all, I think that was a solid run. I'm proud of it. My PB is a 49.49, so to get a 50.39, 49 seconds off PB, that's more than I could ask for with the way that the RNG can go in this run.
Heck yeah, man.
Especially for a live race environment, you both did really good. We said it earlier. It was pretty much like neck and neck almost the whole time. We were like in sync for quite a while.
It was like insane to watch. Just like, are we watching the same run? If there was like, if you guys didn't have different costumes on, it would have literally been like watching the same run twice.
Wow.
As well, CBItemBox. Anyone wanting to find you on Twitch or anything, where can they find you?
I'm at twitch.tv/CBItemBox. I'm live multiple times a week, usually doing some sort of Resident Evil content. And I do have a YouTube. I try to post some stuff there as well. And can I give like a couple thank yous? Is that, or we crunching on some time?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. So first off, I really want to thank GDQ and CatLink, Easy Dices. Thank you guys for inviting me into this. GDQ has been something that I've wanted to be a part of since I started speedrunning, so this is honestly a dream come true. Thank you to all the RE runners, Trans for getting me into it, Mondo Mantra, Lucy Lover, Super King Andy, so many people, Squirrelies, Cursed Toast for giving us the SRT auto splitter so we can actually know how enemy HP works, and thank you, to my dad for getting me into Resident Evil games, my girlfriend for being my support system, and yeah, she's been I was super nervous before the run today, and she sat me down. She was like, "Look, you've wanted this for a long time. You do these runs all the time. It's no different if it's GDQ or your channel." So she really talked me down. And thank you. And the last thing, and I'll make it quick, is I just want to say, if anybody ever wants to get into speedrunning, don't be afraid. Just jump in. Everybody starts somewhere. I was awful. I still think I have a long way to go, but if you want to speedrun, you can speedrun. Anyone can do it. You can really do anything you put your mind to. 3 years ago, I didn't think I'd be able to get a 50-minute pace in this game, but here we are. So if you want it, just go get it.
Cheers to that.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
That's some wholesome content. We love it.
And I definitely want to say thank you both to Deschain and Itembox once again for doing the run and just being good sports all around.
Yeah, thank you, and good job, Des. I thought you had me, dude, because I know you've been practicing that G4. I thought you had me on the Super Knife kill.
Nah, lads, was just bad RNG. Unfortunate.
Hey, I mean, it was still fun all around, and we still have plenty of race left to go. Before we do go to our next game, though, I do want to say thank you not only to our runners, but for our commentators. We did have 7 Ray D and Captain Ezekiel.
Yeah, thank you guys for jumping in and helping us with the commentary on this. It really helps to be able to focus on the run and not have to worry about, describing strats and stuff at the same time. So thank you.
No worries. Well done putting point to the same team as me, eh?
Thank you.
All right. All right. That being said, we do have one more game for you for tonight. We'll be getting that all set up, and we'll be talking more about that in a moment. But don't go anywhere. We'll be right back with a Resident Evil Village. Be right back.
Thanks, guys.